Alright, so I'm going to try to explain everything that's going on before you guys watch the video. And this diagram above is the wiring that I used on the relay that's going to go in. So you can see my blue wire is what goes to the fan. The gray wire is what's going to go inside the cabin to a switch. The yellow wire is what went to a battery. And then there's a red and a black wire on the relay that's actually going to be going to ground. So I'll give you guys a moment to kind of look at what's going on here. And the next thing I'm going to explain is the switch and how I put that on. Alright, this isn't the identical switch that I use, but it makes sense on how to wire it. So instead of ground, that's the gray wire that's coming from the relay, and then the power I have coming straight from the battery, and then I have an accessory power that is coming from an added circuit from a fuse inside my glove box. Hopefully all this makes sense, and it'll help along with the video as you watch it. Alright guys, so what I have going on here is I have an electric fan, and the last time I went out, this guy right here stopped working, so I had to wire up my fan to a switch that goes inside the cabin, but I didn't do it properly, so now I'm going to try to go ahead and do that. So the first thing I'm going to do is remove this thing since it's broke, and then I'm going to just start removing all the wire, and then I'll show you guys what I do next. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what I got going on. So right here I have a relay that's weatherproof, and then I have an inline fuse, a switch, and then associated wires. Next thing I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to go ahead and mount this. I'm going to put it right where the old relay was. So I'm going to go ahead and mount that now with the existing hardware that was there for the old relay. Alright, so I have everything wired up. I was wanting to kind of show you guys a step-by-step of what I did, but I'm going to kind of just show you what I did after the fact. So right here we have the two wires coming from the fan, one being ground, one being positive. For my fan to go the direction that I want it to, I actually have to have the red wire as my ground. So I'll try to trace this red wire so you can see it here. Red wire comes through, and then this black wire right here is actually connected to the red wire, and then this blue wire is going to be my positive, which is connected to the black on the fan to run the correct way. That blue wire is coming from this relay down here. So I got the blue running to the positive, or what I need to be the positive on my fan. And then there is a yellow wire you could see coming out of this relay also. And that yellow wire is connected to the power on my negative terminal here. So that has the blue to power on the fan and yellow to power on the battery itself. And then what you see there right here is a black and a red wire. Both of those are actually grounded, so I had those connected together and I grounded them into this single wire, black wire, into the battery terminal there. And then what you have left is this one white wire right here. So this white wire is actually connected to this black wire here. I know it's kind of confusing, but this black wire runs into the cab of the truck where I have a switch. So let me try to explain that one more time. Hopefully it all makes sense. So positive, I'm going to not even talk about colors right now, other than what's on the relay. So the positive wire, this is how it's going to get positive power, the blue wire on this relay. And then the negative on the fan just goes straight to negative on my battery. And then the yellow wire on this relay is how you get power from the battery. The red and the black wire on this relay is my ground. And then the white wire is essentially going to a switch inside the cab so that I could turn on and off the fan. I'm going to go to the cab now. Alright, so behind this switch is a 3-prong switch. One 12-volt source goes to a constant 12 volt, which is going to be my battery. And then that white wire that was in the relay is going to be the switch source. So it's going to be the ground essentially when it comes to this switch. And then there needs to be another 12 volt source that's only on during accessory power. So I just did an add a circuit to my fuse panel that's in my glove box, and I added a circuit. This red wire right here, thick red wire right here, is my 12 volt battery source to that switch. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you guys how I did this. So with the power turned all the way on, but not actually starting, I could still start the car. My fan is running and it's blowing air. Now, if you look, this switch right here is actually not lit up. I didn't purposely do that. That's just the way it worked out. Usually with the switch lit, that would mean that the accessory that you're turning on would be on. Somehow I switched wires, I put it in backwards, but everything seems to be working correctly. And what I kind of like about this light being on is that's telling me, hey, your fan is off. So you can see that light is on. I'll come over to the fan. You can see my fan is off. So if I need to turn the fan on, I just flip this switch, light goes out, fan turns on. And then what I like about this is when I turn off the car, that light's still off. Had it been done the other way and I kept my fan on all the time, then the light switch would be on and probably drain the battery. So this actually works out pretty well. So now the fan is hooked up to a relay, which should help everything, and I got everything wired up. I'm gonna try to show you guys a diagram here in a second on how I wired the relay, and then we could kind of go over that. Alright, hopefully now that you watched the video all this makes sense, and here's the diagram one more time. Blue wire went to the positive on the fan, gray wire went to the inside of the car, yellow wire went to the battery, and then the red and black went to the ground. And then here's the diagram of the switch one more time. Gray wire went to the relay, red wire went to 12 volt battery, and then the other red wire went to the accessory power.